Bantamweight bout here, the curtain jerker. Jessica Rose Clark back in action, coming in at -110 against Tainara Lisboa, the debuting fighter at +110. Over under 2.5 rounds, -170 for the over, +170 for the under. One thing that jumped off the board to me, I was like, Jessica Rose Clark is 35. Like, what? Maybe I've just been off the ball, but like I didn't realize she was that old. And Lisboa coming in here at 32 years old, making her debut, is like interesting. But then you look at her history, and she's Muay Thai champion. She's been in the fight game for a long time. She was mainly Muay Thai, and then just recently in she had her first MMA fight in 2016. She lost to Norma Dumont. Got submitted in the first round there, and then comes back in 2019, and it looks like she's been in the MMA world since then. So she's making her debut here, 5-2. She's going to have what I would think be the advantage on the feet. She actually has a decision loss to Valentina Shevchenko in a Muay Thai bout back in 2020, and I watched that fight, and Valentina was like just taking her down in the first round. Like she took her down back to back, like 5 or 6 times in a row. Like you can't really take girls down in Muay Thai. Like you can do like the trips, but Valentina was literally just ragdolling her to the ground. They would stand them up, and then she would do the same thing over and over again. And she ultimately lost to Valentina, but it was an interesting fight to watch, to say the least, because it's 13 years ago. So it's crazy to see how far that Valentina has come, and how long that Lisboa has been in the fight game. So she's got a lot of experience, and coming in here as the underdog, I honestly don't hate the price, because JRC hasn't really been doing so hot in the UFC, to say the least. If she wants to win this fight, I think she's got to take her to the ground, and that's kind of been her motto, like in her past couple of fights. She had the win over Jocelyn Edwards. She got 5 takedowns, unanimous decision win there. And then goes up against Stephanie Egger. Probably, I mean, unless you're the Russian Ronda, you probably don't want to take Stephanie Egger down. And she gets armbarred by Stephanie Egger, and then fights Stolyarenko, who's the armbar queen, and gets armbarred by her. Gets her arm snapped too. So I'm not like really looking to bet JRC. 35 years old. Look at her record. She doesn't really have that many wins. She's 11-8. And you got Tainara Lisboa coming in here, UFC debut, probably a little bit more hungry. I like the dog money on the debuter. She's going to have the advantage on the feet. At least I think so. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the dog too. The one thing that does concern me is that I watched the Norma Dumont fight with Lisboa. And Lisboa, man, on the feet, like you can tell she's a world champion. She can strike her ass off. She was snapping the head back of Norma, but right when it got taken down, it was over. I mean, you could tell she didn't have much of a ground game at all. And that's what concerns me, is because Jessica Rose Clark, I mean, she's taken girls down in the UFC before. It makes me think she can do it here too, but she can also get caught on the feet. And Lisboa hits probably harder than your average girl in this weight division in the UFC, if I'm being honest. And she is, I look at her record, Jessica Rose Clark's, she's not really, everybody she's losing to is kind of a submission artist, like Stolyarenko, Stephanie Edgar. She's not really getting knocked out or knocked down by anybody. So, yeah, man, I think it all comes down to who can implement their game plan at the end of the day. If Jessica Rose Clark can get it to the ground, I think it could be over. And if Lisboa can just learn to stuff some takedowns, if she's been getting better since Norma Dumont at that, on the feet, it's going to be a long night for Jessica Rose Clark. But I don't know how you put too much confidence in JRC at this point, if I'm being honest. Yeah, man, I think it's his dog or pass here. Not confidently, maybe a small play, which is Lisboa right now. But you just never know what you're going to get when these two styles clash at this level.
I mean, I got to read off Jessica Rose Clark's wins in the UFC. She's got 4 wins. First one, Beck Rawlings, 8-9 MMA, pro MMA career. So not even 500. Paige Van Zant, 8-5. Definitely not fighting anymore, if you know what I mean. Sarah Alpar, 9-6 in a pro MMA record. And then Jocelyn Edwards, who's 13-4. But you know, if you take her down, like she ain't really getting back up. So, and then she did that. That's how she won that fight. You know, I think Pani Kianzad is like a pretty good stand-up fighter, and Jessica Rose Clark, when she stands with girls, she's gonna lose to the Muay Thai fighter. But this is women's MMA, and who the hell knows? Maybe she goes out there and just starches her, because this is the low-level bantamweight fight for women's MMA. That's what it is.
I could see this one I could see this one ending inside the distance, if I'm being honest, whether by submission, by JRC, or KO by Lisboa. I mean, I don't know. Interesting bad fight.
Yeah, gonna have to get real creative with it.